going on, guys? Welcome back to another video. Running you through another full body home workout of mine. Today we're actually going to start with some pull-ups. I do have to say though, I have lately been starting my workouts with calf raises. I'm just not recording them, but yeah, I basically just do one leg at a time, hanging my heel off of the edge of the treadmill, and then I'll just have a dumbbell in one hand, and I normally do 2 or 3 sets to failure on each leg. We'll see if anything happens with the calf size from that. But starting out the main workout here with some pull-ups, and then I'm going to go into my arm training. So I wanted to do some pull-ups fresh today, and that's what we're going to do. Just starting with body weight. All I've done is a couple of reps for warm-ups wise, and then dropped down and did a couple push-ups as well, just to get a little bit of blood flow into the elbows. So without further ado, let's go ahead and jump into this first working set of pull-ups. Cool. Take a couple minutes. We'll knock out another set. So I was just resting in between sets here. I was kind of reflecting on how I feel and how I feel at the beginning of most of my workouts, and then how I start to feel. Like, for instance, right now, I've done some calf raises and one set of pull-ups, right? I still do not feel like I necessarily want to train. Like, I don't feel super high energy right now. Not really in that groove per se, right? I've noticed it takes 3-4 hard working sets around the bouts there during a workout until I start to feel like okay, I'm in it. Like, my central nervous system's ready to rock. But yeah, I think a lot of people probably struggle with that, right? So just get done with the work day, you're not really feeling it, and a lot of times you end up unfortunately just skipping workouts. But you can just realize that, hey, after you get into the workout and start getting some hard sets under your belt, odds are you're going to start feeling better. Your body temperature gets up there. If you need to warm up more, but even if I were to like warm up longer, like do a treadmill session and get warmed up, I still don't feel like I'm fully into the workout until I actually have some hard working sets under my belt. So just keep that in mind. You're not always going to feel amazing before every workout. Today's one of those. It's a Monday. It's a long work day. I feel like I was just staring at a computer screen all day. But now it's time to train. So without further ado, let's get this second set of pull-ups done. Cool. I'm gonna do one more set of those. Okay, so third and final set here, pull-ups. I think on the first set I did like 12, and then on the second set I did around 8. And on this one, honestly, I'll probably end up around 6, 7, maybe 8, but probably 6 or 7 reps. Um, and I was started thinking about the drop off of reps per set and like how normal that is to me. But I then realized that I think a lot of people that might not be normal, right? A lot of people just think 3 sets of 10, 3 sets of 12, or whatever amount of sets, and then it's like the same reps every set. Um, I guess that is one way to do it, but in my opinion, that's a good indicator that you're probably not training hard enough. So I like to train to failure in all my sets. That way I can keep my sets relatively low per session per week. And I just think to me, that's the most optimal way to go about a given set is to train to failure or really, really close to it. So if you're not experiencing a drop off of reps from set to set in a given exercise, take a look at how hard you're really training because you're probably leaving a good amount of effort on the table there. Just some food for thought. So, all right, last set here. Okay, cool. So now that we got the pull-ups out of the way, when I was nice and fresh, I'm going to move on to doing some arms. And since I just did a pulling movement, I'm gonna hit my triceps first with 2 or 3 sets. I'm trying to think. Yeah, it's gonna be a dumbbell overhead extension. Sometimes I do them 2 arms at a time, sometimes 1 arm. I think today I'm gonna knock out one arm at a time. This is one of my very favorite tricep exercises. I think it's super important for the overall development of your arm. So it's something I really try to focus on. So yeah, we'll hit some tricep extensions here. I'll catch you in just a second. All right, so all I've done is 2 sets of overhead extensions for my warm-ups. So I did one set with like 20-pound dumbbell and then another set with a 35-pound dumbbell. So and just first set I think was 10 reps, way far from failure, and then next set was 4 reps, really far from failure. So it's another little tip. When you're kind of warming up or building up to your heaviest your working set of a given exercise, when you're doing 1 or 2 warm-up sets to begin with, don't burn yourself out on those warm-up sets. Those shouldn't be to failure of like 30 reps if you're about to go a little heavier. So yeah, stay away from failure on your warm-ups. I think that goes without saying, but I don't know. I guess I'd be surprised. I've seen weirder things out there. So yeah, first set here. Don't really have a rep goal in mind. Just like with pretty much any exercise I do, but it's like a range. I know I'm going to end up probably somewhere between 6 and 12-ish reps with this weight, probably on the lower end. So we'll see how this one goes. I think we've got 45 pounds here. Cool. Definitely do 2 more sets there. All right, we're gonna stick with this same weight for this second set. Okay. All right. I'm gonna drop the weight a little bit to probably 35 pounds, and we'll do 1 more set. So, for those of you wondering, anytime you're doing an overhead extension, you're working the long head of your tricep. So that'd be the part back here, as opposed to this part. Obviously, it's all going to, get stimulated to some extent, but anytime your shoulder's in this position, and you can get that stretch on this part of your tricep, that's going to give you a lot of gains. That's where a lot of gains can be made, I should say, with your arm development, is in the long head of your tricep. And this is something that I didn't understand or do for a long time in my training. I always just did a push down or maybe a skull crusher variation, but mostly push downs. And that's going to be great for developing that lateral head of your tricep, but not going to be hitting that long head as much, which is the big, a big portion of your arm. So, yeah, it wasn't until, I don't know, maybe a handful of years ago, honestly, that I started like taking the overhead extensions more seriously. So, yeah, definitely a little tip out there for you. Don't neglect the overhead extensions when it comes to triceps. So, all right, last set here. Really gonna try to like get as big of a stretch as I can. Really, almost like reaching behind myself with the dumbbell behind my back as much as possible. So instead of stopping just here, really trying to reach back here, stretch, reach. Okay. Same thing, really reaching back here. Boom. All right, so I'd say those feel sufficiently worked. We're gonna do biceps now. I'm gonna do an incline curl. I think today I'm gonna really focus on actually knocking the bench incline a little bit further back than I have been lately, and really letting my elbows drift backwards. So might not be able to use as much weight, but should get a lot bigger stretch, especially on that upper part of my bicep. So I'm gonna probably do 1, maybe 2 little warm-up sets, and then I will see you for my first working set. All right, guys, like I said, lately I've been doing the incline curls on this position. I'm just gonna go 1 more down. So I'm leaning back a little further. Be careful with these ones for sure. It definitely puts you in a more of a vulnerable position. But yeah, once you can kind of get the form down on these, it's an amazing exercise. So I did 1 little warm-up set with 25 pounds for about 4 or 5 reps. Now we're gonna jump into the first working set here. Got 35-pound dumbbell, so here we go. Just don't rush it. Get in position. Gonna shimmy my shoulder blades back. Let the dumbbells fall backwards and then pull. All right, so I think I'm actually going to stick with that same weight for another set. Probably only get 5 or 6 good reps, which I'm fine with. And then if I end up doing a third set, I will drop the weight down a little bit. So another thing I really want to make, I guess I should say make clear, or just point out, like I think I've said it in a previous video. Before every set, I personally take sometimes maybe just a split second, sometimes 4 or 5 seconds to just kind of recenter myself, focus on the task at hand, what I'm about to do, what I want the movement to feel like. Like I said, sometimes it's a real split second between grabbing the weight and starting the set where I'm able to do that. And sometimes it takes a little longer to get set. But anyways, I think that's a good practice to get into and a good habit to try to start doing if you're not already, just so you're fully present during every set and you can give your maximum effort. So okay. Yeah, I think we'll go ahead and drop it down from, yeah, this is 35 pounds. So I think we'll go to a 25-pound dumbbell and knock out 1 more set. Let those dumbbells fall back. Big stretch. And get to work. Oh. All right. Now I've got calves done, pull-ups done, triceps done, biceps done. I believe I'm going to go to a pushing movement next. So I'm going to actually stick with this bench and go with some, actually, I think there's probably this exact incline for a chest press. So I'll do a couple sets there. One warm up, maybe two, and then I'll get back to you with the first working set. Let's do it. So, oh yeah, and also, I'm also feeling way better. I know at the beginning of the of the video, I was talking about how, you know, it takes a while to start feeling good. Like, I can already feel my energy is way up compared to where it was when I first started my workout. So again, just ride it out, get moving, get started, get some sets under your belt whenever you're feeling down and feeling like you're not going to want to work out, because it will more often than not, get better, and you will start feeling better and get excited about your workout. So anyways, I will see you for the first working set of my chest press. Cool. So with these guys, I see a lot of people, I think someone asked me recently on the comments of one of the videos, sorry if you hear our dog drinking water in the background. She's thirsty. But anyways, someone had asked, you know, what I do special for chest development. And I think the biggest thing is range of motion. I think doing exercises where you can get in a fully stretched position. If you're doing push-ups, try to do them on a deficit with like the parallel bars or some yoga blocks to where you can get a bigger stretch. And then when you're doing things like this, a dumbbell chest press, make sure you're not just stopping here. I see a lot of people, or used to when I went to the gym, they would stop when they get to 90. Now, if you've got some type of really bad shoulder issue, I get it, right? Don't hurt yourself, but also like work to get that figured out so you can get in that bigger range of motion. So, but if you don't have any pain, there's no reason to stop so short. If you can get fully all the way down to where this head part of the dumbbell is like touching the outside of your shoulder down here, that's you want to get as low as you can. So that's where you want. It's going to really open up those muscle fibers and activate all those different motor units, and then squeeze all the way up to the top. So don't just do those half reps. If your goal is, you know, muscle hypertrophy, right? If you're trying to gain muscle, make sure you're not skipping out on that portion. So I'm just going to jump into my next set here, and then you'll be able to see what I was talking about as far as the range of motion. So instead of stopping right here, go all the way down here. All right, I'm gonna do a third set. I'm gonna drop down to a lighter pair of dumbbells. I'll be back with you with the third set. All right, so next up we're gonna hit some lateral delt isolation here, do some lateral raises, and my favorite way to do them is rest pause. So I've got some 25-pound dumbbells here. I'm just gonna knock out honestly as many as I can, even if towards the end I get into more of like an upright row position almost. And then I'll set them down, take some breaths, and then knock out 3 to 5 reps, and do I don't know, maybe 3 or 4 of those mini sets, and that'll be it for lateral raises. So this is like one big long continuous set almost. So here we go. Okay. And just take like 7 to 10 big breaths. Jump right back in. Do 2 to 3 more of those. Definitely a bit sloppier than I'd like, but with exercises like this, especially with isolations, you can get a little sloppier and not risk too much of an injury, right? Because the weight's relatively pretty low. Every now and then, using a little body English, it's not going to hurt you. It might even help you. So. I'm actually going to lower the weight and just do one more set and just jump right into it. That's why I love these dumbbells, adjustable dumbbells. Just change the weight so fast. Okay, that is it. Man, those burn so bad. Alright guys, I'm going to take a little breather here, and I'll get back to you with, I think I just have lower body now. I'll probably do one set of RDLs and a few sets of squat variation, so I'll see you in a second. Now for the least fun part of every workout, lower body. I'm gonna start just doing, I think, one set of RDLs every workout. I was doing 1 to 2 sets one time a week, but now I think I've been noticing I was like getting way too sore from that. I think it was just the fact that I wasn't doing it often enough. So I'm just going to do one good hard set 3 times a week of these RDLs. A couple of tips here for you is one, do RDLs before you do your squat variation. At least I would recommend that. And for the first reason being, if you do your squat variation first and you fatigue your quads, they get kind of shaky. So then when you go to do RDLs and you're trying to keep a really stiff knee with a slight bend, your legs start shaking really bad, which is weird and uncomfortable. So I don't like that. So I always do my RDLs first. And then the second reason I do them first is it actually makes my squat variation feel a little better. So by doing these first and getting some blood behind the knee and in that like lower hamstring area, it just makes my knees and the whole squat variation, whatever I'm going to do that day, feel a lot better. So just a couple reasons to maybe think about trying to do your hamstring work before your quad work if you're doing some type of like leg day or full body workout. So just did one simple set of warm-ups with a lighter weight, and I'm gonna knock out, I don't know, maybe 10 or so reps here, and we'll be done with the RDLs. So let's do it. Cool. I think I'm gonna throw the vest on and keep one of these dumbbells out and do like a slightly wider stance, uh, sumo squat or sumo deadlift, whatever you want to call it. Basically just holding a dumbbell in between my legs and squatting down with it. So, but I will throw the vest on as well and knock out a few sets there, and we'll be done. All right, with these, just like some of my other leg exercises, I don't quite come up all the way and extend my knees. Keep a slight bend in them. Again, this stance is going to be a little bit wider. So that's where like the sumo name would come into play. I can definitely do these from time to time with a narrow stance, but then I wouldn't use the vest because it ends up hitting my thighs. But if I take this wider stance, which kind of works that your adductors, the inside of your legs, obviously your quads and glutes still too though. So here we go. Man, that'll really smoke your lower back and your erectors too. So that's why it can definitely be called more of a sumo deadlift than a sumo squat. But yeah, I'm trying to think if I want to do another 2 sets of that or if I want to do maybe a pistol squat. Kind of leaning towards doing a pistol squat, so you'll find out here in a second. Okay, so for this first set of pistols, which I am going to do, by the way, obviously, I want to do it with a vest. I've never done it with a vest before. I want to see if I can knock out like 4 or 5 reps or so, and then I'll do my last set with just body weight. See what we can do. Kind of difficult because the vest ends up hitting my quads at the bottom, but we'll see. Oh. Oh man. Yeah, those are tough. All right. Sorry about the loud noise. I'm sure that was pretty loud with the mic falling off, but I guess I should talk into it. Got about 8 reps there. Pretty happy with that. So, but I am gonna drop the vest and do one more set, just body weight, and be done. Man. And that's it. Appreciate you guys following along. Let me know if you have any questions in the comments. I always do my best to answer those. And let me know what you'd like to see next as far as videos go, or if you just like seeing these kind of walk along home workouts that I do and just take you along for the ride. So till next time, peace.